Alright guys, so in this video we're going to be talking and reviewing our syllabus, okay? So as we transition into this new class of economics instead of government, the syllabus is pretty much the same, but I just want to reiterate and touch on our rules and our classroom management and that sort of thing as we start this new class. Again, this is a completely separate class from our government class, okay? Alright, so here at the top you see my name, you see my email here if you need anything, or my room number, and I'm always in my room, typically about 7:30, between 7:30 until the bell rings, and on Tuesday afternoons. Please keep in mind I may have appointments or things, so it's best to check with me before you just drop by one afternoon. Alright, course description. This course is going to cover economic concepts, how the principal concepts of economics relate to each other, and the structure of economic systems. You're going to be able to use these concepts in a reasoned, careful manner in dealing with personal, community, national, and global economic issues. You're going to use measurement concepts and methods like tables, charts, graphs, ratios, percentages, and index numbers to understand and interpret relevant data. You're going to learn to make reasoned decisions based on economics. And again, so this is a very formal sort of syllabus. But again, we are going to be doing a PBL, and the next video you guys are going to watch is going to introduce that PBL. So that whole reasoning decisions based on economics and those personal community issues that you're going to learn to deal with. Alright, classroom expectations. You guys know the drill. Be proactive, be assertive, participate in class. Attendance is a really big issue we need to touch on in this class. You guys know it is a quarter class, so we are only in here this 9 weeks. After Christmas break, we're together for a couple more days and then we're done. So because of that, again, you can only miss 4 days in this class between now and January 9th. So please, please, please save those dates for emergencies only. I can't reiterate that enough. And then additionally, because this is a sort of employable class, we're going to be talking about getting careers and how you're going to make sure you make yourself employable. Attendance is going to be a part of that. So you'll see during the PBL session, we are going to be making resumes and doing job interviews. And one of those things, I'm going to say, hey, look, you've been absent in my class 6 days. Why in the world should I hire you for a job within this company? You know, so just keep those sorts of things in mind as we move throughout the class. Additionally, bring materials to class every day that you need to. You know, I have things over there by the door. You're responsible for any assignments that you have. If you're absent, you're responsible for completing those assignments. And if you're here, of course, you have to do those assignments. You are responsible for getting all of that done. Just as you'd be penalized for missing excessive days, you're going to be penalized for missing excessive days of class. Sometimes, guys, you know the drill. Things can't be made up, especially you saw in government. We did a lot of simulations. Those sort of whole class activities can't be made up. If I am bringing a guest visitor in during this course, if we do some sort of activity with that guest visitor, you can't make that up. That's a major grade that you just don't get. So, and that really can sort of penalize you in the end whenever it comes down to final grades. And, you know, maybe had you been here and you had been a part of that whole class discussion or that activity that we had done that day, that might have made all the difference in your grades. So just keep those things in mind as we go forward in this new classroom. Alright, classroom rules. You know, all district and school policies are going to be incorporated and adhered to. Make sure you wear your IDs when you have them. Make sure you have your Chromebook cases when you're supposed to have them. You know, if you're tardy, I want that tardy card. You have 6. And so, for an entire semester. So, some of you I know have already taken your cards, so just be aware of that. Again, to touch on this again, if you are more than 10 minutes late to class, or you miss any 10 minutes, right? So even if you're dismissed in the last 10 minutes, you have to be marked absent, right? So tardy is 10 minutes if you're tardy, that means that you've come to class within those first 10 minutes, right? So I wouldn't mark you absent, and I won't punch your card. I know we had some confusion with that, but got that settled. So if you're 5 minutes late, I need your tardy card. If you're 9 minutes late, I need your tardy card. If you're 10 minutes late, I gotta mark you absent. All cell phones and electronic devices are going to be turned off and placed in your labeled holder. Y'all know the drill with that. Just don't let it affect your studying and your habits in the classroom. Be smart. Put them away if you know you can't handle it, because you know I'm going to have to write you up if I find them. Arrive to class on time and ready to learn. When the bell rings, be in your assigned seat. Y'all know you typically have some sort of bell work assignment on there, so go ahead and start that. You need to be physically and mentally present in the classroom. Don't line up before the door at dismissal. You know I'm going to sit you right back down and make you all be there. Don't cheat, plagiarize, or copy work. That's a good way to get a big old 0. Use polite and appropriate language. You know, that's a pet peeve. I can hear a cuss word a mile away. Do your best work and turn it in on time. And make sure everything that we do turn in, we turn into the appropriate bin, which is getting into our classroom procedures. Turn work into the appropriate bin. Everything's due at the beginning of the class. Turn it into your class bin. Y'all are going to use the same bin as you did in government. It's still labeled 1B. Make sure you pick up after yourself before you leave, guys. This is something we need to reiterate and touch base on. If you bring your breakfast into my classroom, you know I don't mind you eating breakfast in my classroom, but make sure you clean it up. Make sure it makes it to the trash can, and just make it look nice and neat. You don't want to come into a dirty, sticky seat, so don't leave a dirty, sticky seat for the next person. On that same note, do not throw trash in my classroom. You know the drill. For sure, I will get a broom from Miss Emma and make you clean it up. Check for any missed work with a fellow student. You need to check the absent drawer. If there was any sort of a handout, I would have put it in there. And then lastly, follow up with me to see if you missed anything else. Also, the classroom is typically going to be a good place for you to check to see if you've missed anything. Lastly, the new policy. I'm going to touch on this again. Students will be issued 3 restroom passes. These passes are to last the entirety of the class, all 9 weeks. If a student needs to use the restroom, they must present a restroom pass to me, and upon approval, fill out the pass. It's imperative that you keep up with these because I will not reissue them. Once they're gone, they're gone. At the end of the 9 weeks, for every 1 pass that you still have left, I will give you 10 point extra credit on whatever assignment you would like, okay? So, use them wisely. School policies. Cell phone policy, we know that. Don't have them out, right? That's my rule. So, first warning, we're going to confiscate it. Second, your parent will get it back at the end of the school day. The third, the end of the school year, guys. That's serious already. And then failure to surrender will result in a 2 days OSS for the first offense. Chromebook use, you guys have been here long enough. You know the drill for that. Dress code, guys, just make sure your pants are above your hips and that you don't depict anything you shouldn't. Halter tops, tank tops, put a cardigan on. It's getting ready to be winter. Shorts, mini skirts, those sorts of things. Keep them appropriate lengths. Additionally, you know, here at Emerald we have different, more expanded upon dress code policies. Here are the consequences. Alright, graduation. Something I cannot stress enough. Look, right here. You saw government down here was required. Economics, also required to graduate. This half-credit class is necessary to graduate. You have to have a 60 in this class by January 9th to graduate, okay? Let me make that clear. A 60 in this class with 4 or less absences by January 9th, okay? Alright, house rules, hitting, touching, kicking, pulling, tugging is not going to be tolerated. Make sure you're not here before 7:30 or that you're gone after 4:15. If you have everyone has a locker if you need one. Most important thing here, 2020. Y'all know this. Y'all have been here. Do not ask me to go to the bathroom in the first 20 minutes or the last 20 minutes of class. Additionally, do not leave that room without that pass. If that, you know where the pass is, by the door. So once you hand me your ticket and you fill out that pass, I have to sign it saying that you are going, that I have given you permission to go wherever it is that we put on that pass that you're going, okay? So just make sure we're abiding by that. ID badges. Wear them so I don't have to send you to Miss Bates. Please, please, please. Nobody wants to waste $5 on an ID badge when you can get a chicken sandwich. Tardy policy. You guys know that. Just have your tardy cards with you. Required materials. 3-ring binder with tab dividers. Number 2 pencils, black and blue pens, highlighters. We have all that on there. Additionally, guys, you have a required text. It's the same company that made your book for government. Is going to make your book for econ. I do have a class set just below the government books on that bookshelf. You'll see. So no one has to check those out. I know you're not going to read them. I'm not going to make you carry them around. So I have a class set for you. And then this is our tentative course schedule. Again, tentative means subject to change. So these are the things that we are going to cover. Essentially, we're going to kind of be moving in order. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, go ahead and delete this because the last day of each unit is not going to be reserved for a test. Our tests are going to be more sporadic since we're doing a PBL. So just keep that in mind. This is tentative. I'm sure, I promise you, this is going to change because we're going to be jumping around like crazy with this PBL. So there's that. And grading policy, you know, 92, 100. You need a 60 in order to pass this class at a D. You have major assessments, minor assessments, and your PBL components are 20%. So any quiz, homework, daily grade I give you, that's all 40%. PBL components I will tell you more about as we go through the semester. Those are going to be 20%, but I'll let you know which category those are going to fall into, okay? Alright, guys. Well, good job. Make sure you behave, and I'm excited for economics.